Hello everybody and welcome back to Factorio. Let's go ahead and pick back up where we left off, shall we? So tutorial level 5. Alright, so last time we were here, we got our steel set up, we also expanded our mall quite a bit. So now we're actually at a pretty good point where we can start to look at going towards our main objective, right? So we need to repair the railway and set up automated rail deliveries. Now in order to do that, I want to try to automate some of our rail stuff, right? So we're going to add to our mall here, right? And then from there, we're going to actually build what we need, right? So let's take a look at what we actually need. So we've already got quite a lot of rail. I'm probably going to need more. So let's automate that first, right? Let's get that done and out of the way. So for that, we need stone, steel, and iron sticks. So iron sticks just take iron, right? So we're going to, we already got the iron here. So let's just go right here. And we're going to do iron sticks, which is an intermediate product. And we're going to, do iron sticks just take one iron? They do, lovely. So we can just use regular inserters for that. And feed you into our rails. And then rails need steel and stone in addition to that. So there's that. And then let's bring up steel and stone. So let's grab some more belts. We need more belts. Lovely. And our concrete has finished, and that's our final research. So we're all done researching, at least for the tutorial levels here. So awesome! We did it! We finished all the research that there is in the tutorial level. You're progressing nicely. This is lovely. Okay. So up next, again, looking at this, it just needs one stone and one steel. So let's do the steel first, because I feel like I'd rather have that closer, because steel is a more commonly used component. So, lovely. And then let's bring that up, and then bring it closer, and then bring it even closer, like that. And then we can go ahead and input, and then we're going to use a long-handed inserter to input the stone. So now let's bring stone up. So again, I'm just going to bring stone up right next to the steel, right? So we're going to go 1, 2, and then bring stone up. And then just curve that over and up. And let's power this all on. And now we need to figure out where we want to output, actually. So where do we want to output? Let's output up. And again, I'm going to go ahead and limit this to, let's say 500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. Okay. And the reason why I'm using a blue inserter here is because every time a rail is produced, it produces two. It produces 2 rails per cycle. So the blue inserter is really needed there. And it looks like the same thing is actually true here. Yeah. Each iron stick is actually produced in pairs. So let's up that to a blue inserter as well. There we go. Keep everything running nice and smooth. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Let's grab some more belt. Yep. Alright, so what else do we need? We've already got 2 train stops, but it wouldn't hurt to have more. So what do train stops need? Train stops need iron plates, iron sticks, steel plates, and electronic circuits. So quite a lot of ingredients, actually, but we have most of it there, right? We have most of it there. So here, we've got the iron, but I've kind of got myself blocked off, which is a little unfortunate. So let's see if we can figure out how to unblock ourselves, right? Because that's... maybe that'll work. Not 100% sure that that's going to work, because I need to get the steel up too, right? Yes, I do. How do I want to do this? You know what I could do? Yeah, I know what I can do here. Let's go ahead and remove these 2 inserters. Let's remove these belts here. And I'm going to use a red inserter trick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stack 2 red inserters on top of each other, like that. And then I can do that. And then what I can do is I can just bring the iron up like that. I can just go under, like that. Keep things nice and tight. Now I don't actually need the stone to go up, so let me go ahead and wipe that down. And then I need green circuits to continue to go up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and let's craft some more assembly machines because I don't have a lot of those. So let's see, that needs gears. I'm just going to steal the gears from here. Craft some more of those. Lovely. All right. So let's again do sticks. And then the sticks are going to go into our train stops. So we'll use a regular inserter and then a blue inserter. And then how much of these do we need? We need quite a bit of each. So I'm going to go ahead and use blue inserters for everything except for the steel, which is going to have to be a long-handed inserter. So we're going to insert, insert, and then we're going to insert, and then we're going to output up. And I think this just crafts one at a time, right? Yep, just one at a time. So we can just use the yellow inserter to go up and then throw that in a chest. And we're just going to do 1 stack. We don't need a lot of these. And there we go. And we're looking good there. What else do we need from a train's perspective? We could do signals, but I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to need a lot of signals because I'm going to do a very simple train network. Very, 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 very simple. I want to keep this stupid simple for 2 reasons. First is I want this to more serve as an introduction, right? I don't want to do anything really complex for you guys, right? I want this to be more of an introduction. And then you can learn more complex things yourself or from other YouTubers who are better at this game than I am, right? Or later on down the line, as I get better at this game, I can also teach you things more in depth over time, right? So, lovely. And then the second reason is I'm personally not very good at trains, right? I still rely really heavily on blueprints from other people. And until I get better at actually understanding exactly how trains work, I'm not going to be the best person to teach you how it works. So, yeah, 2 reasons why I want to keep it simple. So I'm not going to really worry too much about the signals. And then we need locomotives, right? That's actually the train itself. And this is where things get complicated, right? We need 20 engine units. Now, if we notice here, down here, right, we see some things in red. When something's in red, that means it can't be pocket crafted. It has to be assembled using an assembly machine, right? So the train, the locomotive, it can be pocket crafted. So I'm going to opt for pocket crafting it. But part of it, the engine, that can't be pocket crafted. So we do have to assemble the engine. So let's go ahead and start assembling the engines. So what do the engines need? They need steel, and they need iron gears, and they need pipes. So that means I need steel and iron. So I've got the steel and iron here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hop on over to the other side. So again, for engines, I need iron gear. And then that's going to feed into our engines. And then we need pipes. And that's going to feed into our engines as well. Now this might not be the most efficient, but we'll eventually get to our 20. We'll eventually get to our 20 that we need. Now the thing with engines is they take forever too, so we're going to be waiting for a little while for those 20 engines to come in. But it's all good. And then we'll go ahead and we'll just output over here. And again, I'm just going to need a stack. We don't need a lot of engines, but we do need some. So we're going to go here and here and here. And let's make sure everything is working. All right, perfect. Everything is indeed working. Now, notice how while these two aren't the most efficient, right? With how long engines take to produce, that's okay. It's going to take us a while to get to our 20 engines. So we'll come back a little bit later to grab those, and then we'll build our locomotive. Easy peasy. So while we're waiting for our engines, what can we work on? Well, let's grab some more of these rails. Let's get started actually building our rails, right? Our rail network. So where do we want to start, right? So our aim is to come down here, right, and get these resources, right? The iron and the copper. So a good place for our rail network to be is probably where these trees are here, right? Nestled in these cliffs. That's probably a good place for our drop-off. So let's see here. We do have access to grenades, and that'll help me a lot in terms of getting rid of trees. We could automate grenades, but I'm not going to need grenades for that long, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. So I'm just going to steal some coal from here, and then grab a bunch of plate from here. Grab some more coal from here. Just gonna build a whole bunch of grenades. Okay, lovely. That should be enough, hopefully, maybe, possibly. We shall see. Okay. So making our way down south, making our way down south. So here we've got a bunch of trees in the way. I'm gonna actually put the fish over here, grab my grenades, and put them here in my hotbar. And let's start clearing space, because we're going to need this space to route belts up, right, from our train station, because we're using our trains to bring in resources. So we're going to need space for the belts to come from the train station. You see we go through grenades pretty quick, so maybe it is better to assemble them. So let's grab some coal and let's add it to the bus then. So we'll grab this coal here, since we're out of space up here to put more smelting columns in anyway. And we'll just add that coal to the bus. And then, oh, whoops. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, we've successfully added coal to the bus, and now because coal is on the bus, we can go ahead and just pull it right up into the mall. So what do grenades need? They just need iron plates and coal. So we've already got the iron plates up here, right? So now I just need to bring the coal, and then we're all set. Now where do I want to bring the coal at? Do I want to bring it more over here? Do I want to build another section? Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll split this off and then go this way. And then go up like that. And then I'll just bring the coal up here. Alright, so I want the coal to go... Let's see, we need more coal than iron, right? So I will actually want the coal to go up in front. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Grenades take forever to craft. I'll put it on the outside, because iron is a more common resource anyway. So we'll do that. And then we'll do that. Whoops. And then we'll do that. And then we'll route our coal up. Perfect. We also need to get more underground belts. Luckily for us, we have a mall. So let's just yank those. Let's also yank some inserters. And let's yank some splitters. Life is good when you got them all. How many engines do we have? Oh, we've got our 20. Lovely. Let's take those and craft our locomotive while we're here too. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and just put our grenades here. And that way we can automate our grenade assembly. I'll just use inserters like that. And then slap that into a chest. And we'll just do 2 stacks of that. How big is... Yeah, grenade stacks are rather large. Okay. So then we'll do that. And then we should be good. So let's watch this for a second just to see. So notice how long grenades take to craft. Yeah, we're going to get cold in plenty of time. It's totally fine. We could even downgrade this to a regular inserter. Easy peasy. Alright, we've got more grenades, and we've got them automated. And we've almost got our locomotive. Things are looking good. Things are looking good. Let's continue to clear out the trees. Continue to clear out the trees. So much better than chopping it manually, right? Grenades are lovely that way. We can still chop like individual ones manually because whatever. But it's nice to just get things cleared out. Alright, so here we want to get all of this cleared out. This is kind of where I'm thinking of putting our train station, so let's get clearing. And we're basically out of grenades. So let's go back up and get some more. And then let's also keep handcrafting grenades too while we're at it. I also want to get rid of this stone. Because, yeah, my inventory is getting kind of full, so I need to just get rid of stuff that I don't need, like these burner inserters. Oh, also, that reminds me, burner inserters. That reminds me, let's check electricity, see where we're at there. Our electricity consumption is still okay, but I think I might want to expand our steam use. So, yeah, let's expand electricity a little bit. Let's do another, like, 5 boilers worth. So let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then for 5 boilers, we're going to need 10 steam engines. So we're going to need a lot of iron for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's also throw the wood into our chest over here. Can also make more wooden boxes. Maybe we'll do that. We'll make wooden boxes out of whatever we've got. There we go. And then throw our like 1 wood back into that chest. There we go. Okay. And then throw our burner inserters in here to go with the others. And then let's see, what else can we get rid of? I've got a lot of steel in my inventory. Maybe I can get rid of that. Got a lot of bullets in my inventory, which I'll keep for the time being. Alright, anyway. Let's grab a bunch of iron so we can craft about 6 more whatchamacallums. There we go. 5, 6, there we go. Now let's also grab some of those, just in case. And then let's see, what else can we actually get rid of? Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of any extra resources I don't need. So let's see. I'm not planning on using walls anymore, so let's just get rid of, yeah, those. Let's get rid of the rest of our military stuff too. So we'll put those away. Let's pull the walls out of here and put them in here too. Keep things nice and organized. I don't really need the fish, so I'm just going to eat that. Okay, let's see. What else can I get rid of, if anything? I could probably get rid of the iron chests. I don't really need them, so I'll just place them. And then if I need them later, I can pick them back up and use them. But yeah. Alright, we're doing okay. So let's go ahead and add... I need some pipes too. There we go. And then let's go ahead and grab this. Oh, the tree's in the way. The tree's in the way. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now we've significantly improved our power. Let's see. Let's make a bunch of big electric poles because I'm going to need a bunch of them as we go to build our train stuff. We are running out of copper. Holy cow. We're going to need to grab that first from our train station when we get that all set up, because we are basically out of copper, and that's kind of scary actually. That's pretty scary. Okay. We could also just build our train station here, maybe. I don't know. This doesn't seem like a lot of space, though. I think I'd rather build it further down. Oh, I didn't actually grab more grenades. Silly me. Oh my gosh. I forgot they're grenades. Let's go get some grenades. Maybe that is enough space. I don't know. I don't know. The more space you can do for trains, the better. It's really nice to be able to build really big loops and things like that, so that way your trains have plenty of space to maneuver. Alright, let's grab some coal. Lots of coal. Boom. And then what else do grenades need? Grenades need lots of iron, so let's grab lots of iron. There we go. And then build lots of grenades. And then grab all the grenades we've got. There we go. Alright, we've got 40 grenades with 37 along on the way. So hopefully that's enough to finish clearing out the trees. So let's keep working on clearing out the trees. I know it's a little dark and I'm sorry. I really need to install a mod for that. I know that there's some mods for that that will make the YouTube videos a lot cleaner. Easier for you guys to see. Even easier for me to see. I think one of them is called Afraid of the Dark, which basically just makes it so that way it doesn't really get that dark during the nighttime. It makes building lights completely irrelevant, but for making content on YouTubers and stuff like that, it might make sense to do and just kind of forego the lights anyway. Later on in the game, you'll be able to get equipment that you can attach to your person. I don't think we have it available here. No, we don't. You'll be able to get equipment that you can attach to your person. And within there, you can socket things like night vision goggles, which also makes night pretty irrelevant. So the game does have a fix for it, but it's down the tech tree, if you know what I mean. It's further down the tech tree. All right, let's grab whatever grenades we can. We're almost done clearing things out. Make more grenades while we use grenades. Maybe I should make multiple assembly machines doing grenades. But it's whatever. It's whatever. We'll get it done eventually. I'm not too concerned. Besides, it's not like there's a time limit on Factorio anyway, right? You just play the game and have a good time. Play the game, have a good time. Okay, we've almost cleared out enough space, I think. Clear out the stragglers. Okay, this is looking pretty good. So, here's what I'm thinking. We're going to go ahead and just build a straight rail for now. We'll eventually need to do loops and stuff, right? Let's go ahead and put our railroads here. Let's also put our stops here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build railroads. So we want a railroad that runs through here. Or runs down this way, maybe. Well, it can run through here. That's fine. So it just runs over this way. So let's just start it here. Alright, so now we got a tip about rail building. So let's go into that. So to activate the rail building mode, you want to hold the rail and then left click over an existing piece of rail. Left click to confirm the placement of the desired piece of rail. And then Q deactivates rail building mode. So instead of doing one bit at a time like belts, rails is a little tricky to get the hang of as far as building it goes. So what you do is you grab the rail, right? And then you see the green arrows here. You can either build rail this direction or you can build rail that direction. So we want to build it this direction. And then as you go, you reach a limit and you just left click and it places it all down. And then if you want to do turns, it tries to automatically figure out where you want the turn to go. And it kind of makes connecting rails a little tricky at times, but it's all good. Again, our rails are going to be really simple. Let's go ahead and clear out the path. And then we'll go into train stops in just a little bit. Let's get our rail over there first. And then you can put gates over rails, which is what that's for, which is really cool. Makes defending your train stops pretty easy, while still giving you the mobility you need for your trains to get in and out of the train station. Okay. So now we've got our railway here where our resources are, which is great, right? Great. But now what we want to do is we want to give our train the ability to leave. So for that, we're going to need to do a loop. So let's do a loop. And I like to do big loops just to make sure that our trains have plenty of space. Now loops don't have to be perfect. I know my loops never are, again, unless I use blueprints. And then we'll want to reconnect it back, right? Now you can also hold shift in order to kind of be better about placing the ghosts for it. So that way then you can just plop the rail down. Whoops. Sometimes you need to... Again, this is something you just have to fiddle with, because the rail only curves so much. There we go. Got it. All right. So how this loop is going to work, right, is our train's going to come in, grab whatever it needs, and then loop around. And then I see we've got some friends over here we have to take care of. So let's take care of our little friends so that way they don't attack our mining operations. Let's see what other friends we may have to deal with around here. Because, yeah, I don't want our friends to attack our mining operations. That would be bad. That would be bad. Looks like we have a lot of friends here who want to attack our mining operations. So, let's attack our friends before they attack us. It might be wise to grab some fish, too, since they've got worms and stuff. So far we're looking okay at dealing with our little friends without fish. Alright, now here we're getting a little low, so let's kill this guy, and then we'll take a step back and get some fish. Okay. Come here, fish. Let's go ahead and put fish back onto our hotbar here. Since we are doing combat, having fish on the hotbar is very convenient. We have some friends over this way too, it seems. Thank you, fish. Almost done dealing with these guys. Very good. After we stop shooting for a while, our health's going to auto-regen, so you don't need to eat fish always to heal up. But while you are in combat, either being attacked or while you are attacking, your health does not regen. So that's why the fish are helpful. So that way you can keep firing or keep taking damage while firing in order to keep going at a relatively efficient pace instead of backing off, healing, backing off, healing. Wow, that guy's got a lot of range. Alright, well fine, let's deal with the worm first. No, bad worms. I don't like you. There we go. We should be good. One down, one to go. Okay, great. So let's just check down here real quick again, just to make sure we don't have any friends, right? Because I don't want to build defenses, because I'm lazy. It doesn't look like we have any friends. Good. Good, good, good. Alright. So let's go ahead and start getting our mining operation set up. So what we're going to do here is let's go ahead and set our mining, right? Which we're already very used to doing at this point. This is going to be really nice, though, as far as an influx of resources goes, because, yeah, we are out of copper, so this is going to be lovely at keeping our copper full and available. Perfect. Now, again, I'm going to keep trains super simple. There's some really cool and even complicated ways of loading your trains, but I'm going to keep it really easy. Oh, there was some rail here that I didn't take down. All right. So here we've got some mining with 3 coming in, and I don't think that's enough to saturate more than one belt. So again, I'm just going to do a really simple thing to go ahead and merge it all in. And then 1 out. And then what we want to do is we want to put a train stop here, right? Now I'm thinking of having the trains come in from the left. So you see the arrows there indicating that the train's going to come in from the left. We could put it on the other side, and that means the train's going to want to come in from the right. But let's have it come in from the left. Perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and call this train stop. So the cool thing about trains is you automate trains, right? So you give the trains instructions, and then the trains will just automatically follow instructions. You don't need to drive the trains. You can manually drive trains, but you don't have to. And when you're automating things, you're going to use names to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit edit up here, and I'm going to rename this. And it gives really cool names to start, just taken from, I think it's the backers who backed the Kickstarter. But I could be wrong, but I think it's the backers who backed the Kickstarter. But I'm going to go ahead and just change this to copper, let's call it pickup. And let's put a symbol of copper in there just to be really cool. So I'm going to go copper. So copper pickup. Apply. And then you can enable train limits, but I typically don't. And then we'll go ahead and close that. And you hear the little beeping. Ding, 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 ding. That just means that it's looking for a train, right? If it finds a train and a train is on its way to come, it'll stop doing that little blinking, which is nice. All right. So now we've got our resources. we want to load it up into a train. So what I want to do actually is I want to pretend that this is going to come here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put a train there. And I'm going to go ahead and put the cargo wagon here. And I'm just going to do a simple 1 cargo train. You can do 2, you can do 3, you can do 4, you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to keep the trains, again, stupid simple. And then to load up the trains, I'm going to use blue inserters. And you can do up to 6 per cargo. And then I'm going to use buffer chests. And then we're going to do 6 again. And then I'm going to actually just do 4. Because yellow belts are kind of slow. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually split up this one line into 4. And then we'll go ahead and put power here, and we'll put power here and here. And then I'm going to put power here. And then I'm going to go ahead and power everything on. Once we get this all connected to power, right? It's not all connected to power yet, so that's why nothing's actually working. I'm just getting all the connections in place. So let's go ahead and get that connected. And we'll get that connected. And then we'll get this connected. Perfect. Let's go ahead and place some lights down. Even though we're not going to look at this place very much. All right, sweet. So this is how we're going to load the train. So the train is going to come here, it's going to stop, and then it's going to get loaded up, and then it's going to go home, right? So we'll get that set up in just a little bit. Let me actually put some solid fuel into the train, so that way we can drive it. So to drive a train, what you'll do is you'll hit enter, and you can go into the train and you can just push up to drive, right? So yay, we're driving the train! And then we're going to go back here. Boom. Okay, let's go ahead and back up a little bit. And then push enter to exit the train. And then we want to put a train stop here, right? And we're going to assume that the train is going to be coming from the right. So we'll put the train stop there. And I'm going to call this Cadge Flipjacks Tide Manson was the name it chose this time. Love it. We're going to do copper drop off. And again, I'm going to go ahead and put a copper symbol there just to make sure everything is nice and cool looking. Very nice. So now what I want to do is I'm going to tell my train, at least manually for now, to go ahead and go to... Whoops. How do I tell it to go to the copper drop off? Because I want it to arrive at the copper drop-off. I forgot how to do that. I'll just add it as a station. So copper drop-off. There we go. Perfect. Stop. Manual. Let's go ahead and remove that. We'll set up conditions later. All right, so now it's stopped at copper drop-off. So now what we want to do, right, is we're going to want to unload this. But first, let's actually do another loop because we need to actually drop things off, and then our train's going to have to loop back around to go get some more resources, right? So we're going to do another loop so that way our train can loop back around. So let's go ahead and build another big loop. And there we go. Now we've got another loop. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to unload the train. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I think that's not in the right spot. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Again, buffer chests. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do individual outs. And I'm just going to merge them into one for now. And then we're going to go under Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to give my train some extra space. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to merge this copper into the existing belt that we already have for copper. We have a little bit of extra iron here, but in my opinion, it's not really worth picking that one up. You certainly can if you would like to, but you do not have to. And I'm just going to merge it with this existing copper line that we already have here. And we're actually out of copper at our base. This worked out pretty well. We're almost done getting our train set up. Oh, we're out of belts. Oh no! Let's go get more belts. Let's go get more belts. We could use the red belts, and honestly, using the red belts is probably a good idea. But I'm just going to keep using yellow belts, just so that way you can kind of get a feeling on where some issues might come, right, when you're working with trains. Alright, let's go ahead and grab some more grenades. Let's put that stack back. I just want one stack of grenades. And then belts, 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 belts. Belts are down here. Thank you, belts. Let's actually go ahead and increase that to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 belts. That'll be fine. Okay, great. Let's finish connecting our copper line. And then we'll be in pretty good shape. And then we'll need to connect everything to power, and we should be looking pretty good. We'll then get our train all set up and automated, and then life will be good. So here we've got everything nice and set up. Our belts are all connected, which is lovely. Let's go ahead and get this connected to power now. Or at least kinda, sorta. Okay, lovely. And then we're gonna go ahead and get this all connected, all nice and happy. Get everything connected nice and happy. There we go. So now that's connected nice and happy. So now what we want to do is we want to get everything else connected nice and happy, right? And powered on and lovely. So what we can do is we can go ahead and place more of these around like this. And then what we'll do is we're going to drive our train to get the rest connected in just a second. So let's go ahead and hop in our train and we'll do a manual bit of looping here. Now let's go ahead and grab our big power pole. And then just like how we walk, right, we're going to stop, we're going to hold left click, and then we're just going to drive our train. And hopefully everything works out nicely. We can drive our train a little bit slower just to be on the safe side. Boom. Oh, not quite. I didn't quite get there. I screwed the last one up, but all good. We're almost there. Boom. Now everything is all connected. So now here's what we want to do, right? Let's go ahead and tell our train to go to copper pickup. Go. So it's going to take our train a little bit, right? Because it's got to go through the loop-de-loop. Our train doesn't go in reverse. If you put two cars, like two locomotives, it can go in reverse, but I don't want it to go in reverse. Okay, so now it's at copper pickup, right? Let's go and switch back to manual for the time being and remove that. And let's watch and see how things go. Right, so you can see here, we're getting everything nice and loaded up. We've got our copper mining going on. Our train is getting all loaded up. Things are looking pretty good. Now, we can wait until the whole car is full, but with 4, it's going to take a little bit for that to happen. So we could expand this to 6. Let's see about doing that perhaps. Again, this isn't the most efficient way, but it's something. Just to get things loading up a little bit faster. So we can wait until this is all loaded up, or we can limit it in order to minimize the amount of time the train stays at a station. but we can go ahead and just let it fill up, and that's fine. So now let's talk about how we automate the movement of trains, right? So what you do is you click on a train, and you're going to give instructions to the train about what route you want it to take. And what we've been doing so far, right, is I've been hitting add station, picking a station, and then just telling it to go. But we want to actually do conditions, right? And the way that the conditions work is you say, here's a station, right, like copper pickup. We're going to start at copper pickup because that's where we are right now. And what you're going to do is you're going to add a wait condition. And once these conditions are met, then the train will leave the station. So this basically says, I'm going to go to copper pickup and I'm going to wait until this condition is met. And you can have multiple conditions. And when you add these conditions, they act as OR conditions. So if you're familiar with programming with OR statements, that's kind of how it works, right? So what we can do is we can say, okay, we want to wait at copper pickup until our cargo is full, or until our train has been inactive for, let's say, 5 seconds, right? Meaning that nothing is happening. Maybe biters attacked our copper mines, and so now our train's not getting anything. And we don't want the train to just sit there. We want it to keep moving, just keep circulating. So if the train's waited for 5 seconds and nothing has happened, but it's still not full, that's okay, keep moving, right? And you can set it to an AND statement where you want the cargo to be full and 5 seconds of inactivity, but that doesn't make too much sense. So let's do OR. So let's wait at copper pickup until it has full cargo or 5 seconds of inactivity. And once either of these two conditions has been met, it'll move on to whatever we add as our next station. So now what we want to do is we want to add a station and we want to drop off the copper, right? So copper drop off. So once these conditions have been met, or one of these conditions has been met, it'll leave copper pickup to go to copper drop off, the next station in the queue. And it's going to go to copper drop off, and we want it to wait there until its cargo is empty, or again until 5 seconds of inactivity. Cool? So now let's turn this on to automatic and see if it works. Because I'll admit, sometimes I get this wrong. I might be thinking backwards. I believe it's go to the station and wait until one of these conditions is met, and then go to the next station. And then rinse and repeat, and then loop back up. I believe that's how it works, but we're going to turn it on automatic now, and we're going to find out. So we'll go automatic, and here it's going to copper drop off. And then we're going to wait to make sure that everything is actually fully delivered, right? So if we click on this, the cargo was full, which is why it left. So now we got to wait for it to empty out, and then the train will go. So we can, again, maybe speed this up a little bit by adding some more buffer chests and inserters. There we go. And I'll get to the objectives in the next video. Let's just make sure that our trains are actually working properly. So, and you don't have to be in your train. I'm only hopping in the train just so I can watch its behavior better. So here we're going to go ahead and wait for the train to empty, which might take a little bit, but so be it. We need to balance that. That's not balanced at all. So let's go ahead and balance that. There we go. That'll be a little bit better. Not perfect, but better. And hopefully that will help things empty out faster, even though it does use the buffer chest to empty out. It's not fully compressing the belt either, which definitely means I'm not being efficient. These two, for example, aren't dropping anything off. So yeah, there's definitely better ways to do this, but you can kind of see the general idea, right? You want to unload the train, and then, yeah, this is definitely not a very good system. There's much better systems out there. And there's blueprints for it too, but I just want to give you the general idea. What we could even do is something like this. Let's see here. Let's actually go ahead and remove all this. And let's put individual lines. And then we're going to go and we're going to balance it. It's not going to be perfect at all, but hopefully it's better. It is now fully compressing the belt, so that's good. It's better in that way. So So let's hop back on the train because we should be almost empty now, which lovely we are. We're almost empty. So now let's make sure that once the train is empty, it should actually leave. See right here, it says that the cargo is almost empty, the green progress bar there. Now that it's empty, see it's moving back to copper pickup. So now we go back to copper pickup. It's going to stop, and we're going to start loading up copper pickup. If we click on the train, you can see the green progress bar filling up. That's the cargo filling up. And then you can see it waiting for inactivity, but because things are happening, the inactivity constantly depletes, right? So as the cargo inventory fills up, once it's all the way full, it'll leave. And we could again do something like, let's go ahead and just limit the train just to make sure that it loops on a faster basis. And we'll wait one more time for this to fill up, just to confirm that once it is full, it will go to copper drop off. And then that will conclude our copper loop. So we'll go ahead and open our map, right? We don't have a radar here. I should place a radar here. But let's go ahead and zoom in on our base and kind of see how things are going, right? So we have our copper coming in. You can see that now that's the end of our train having dropped off the copper. But the copper is now coming in just fine. It's getting smelted and coming back out this way. Now it's not fully being utilized, and that's okay. But hopefully our train takes off soon, which it will, and then we'll fill that line back up. The reason why we use the buffer chests on the load up is so that way if we don't get a full compressed belt of copper, which we're not from those miners, right? While the train is away, it can be loading copper into the chests. And then that way, when the train arrives back in, there will be plenty of copper left. And sure enough, the train is now working correctly. We're now unloading. The condition is indeed waiting until the cargo is empty. And now our train is looping. All lovely. All perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So now we have train set up. So now that we have trains set up, we need to work on our main objective, which we will get into in the next video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to walk back to our base, admire our handiwork for a moment, and then we're going to go ahead and call it a video. Congratulations, we got trains, or at least a basic train setup going. We can add more trains or add more to that existing train to pick up iron and coal and pretty much anything else that we need to pick up. Trains are awesome. You can have trains deliver ammunition. You can have trains go wherever you're right. You know, it's the world's your oyster, basically. You can do whatever you want. But yeah, so we now have plenty of copper coming in again, even though our copper expired in our main base. That's fine. We got plenty of copper coming in. And then our copper is going up here, and it's coming out, and it's getting used wherever we need it to get used, which right now it's not really being used. Everything's nice and backed up. But it's all good. Everything is nice and backed up. So yeah, looking good. We've got trains. We've got trains. We've got trains. So now in the next video, we're going to start working towards our main objective. So now what has happened, right, is our main objective has transformed. We no longer have to work towards trains, right? But now we can leverage trains to our advantage if we need to, right? To bring in the resources that we need. So now what we need to do is we need to grab one of our cars from our chest. We actually have 2 cars sitting in chests, which is really funny mentally speaking how a car fits into a chest, but whatever. It's like the Jetsons capsule or, you know, whatever. It's like Bulma's capsules from Dragon Ball Z. We put the car into a capsule, put the capsule into a chest, and we're fine, right? But anyway, we need to grab a car, and in the car, we need to put in 200 piercing rounds, 200 steel plates, 250 iron gears, 500 electronic circuits, and 200 solar panels. So that's what we're going to be working towards next time. Now, before we end off, I'm going to go over these tips as well, just so that way we can get those done and over with. And then next time we can just jump right to working towards this final objective. So train stops. I've already explained this a little bit, but let's see what the developers say. See, here's another way to unload the trains too. Again, different way. I don't know if that way is better or worse than my way, but it's a way. Anyway, so the entity train stop is used to automate item transportation with trains by providing nameable locations for trains to travel to. The tutorial teaches you how to build a train station and how to set up a simple train schedule. And then we can play the tutorial. I'm not going to play the tutorial because we literally just did this. but please, please, please play the tutorial. It'll help a lot. All right. So next is gate over rail. So gates, basically, gates can be built on top of rails, and then the gates go up and down to let the trains through. And then the gates will close up once the train gets through. So that way biters don't get through, right? So that way you don't have holes in your wall and biters don't get through. And then up next, we have the Ghost Rail Planner. So what you can do is you can use ghost planning by holding shift, right? Like how I explained earlier with the belts. You can use ghost planning by holding shift, and you can go really, 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 really far instead of the like 7 or 8 that you normally can do just by a simple left click and actually placing it down manually. With the ghost planner, what you can do is you can hold shift and you can plan out long stretches of rail that will automatically try to work around obstacles to wherever your mouse destination is. And the game is pretty good about it, but not absolutely perfect, but pretty good about it. And then what you can then do is if you have bots, the bots will automatically place the rail for you, or you can then place the rail yourself by going over what you just set or what you just planned and building the rail over what you just set. So yeah, so let's go ahead and read this out. So the Ghost Rail Planner is used to plan long stretches of new rail ghosts. To use the Ghost Planner, hold shift while rail planning. You can also hold control in order to avoid obstacles, for having it try to automatically avoid obstacles. And again, it's pretty good at it. You can see here it's avoiding the wall, for example. All right, so those are the tips. Play with the trains. Trains are fun. There's plenty of good train tutorials out there. Once I'm done with this tutorial video series, which might actually be the next video, we're almost done. This is the final objective. Once we hit this, the tutorial level is over. And then from there, you can continue to play on the tutorial level map if you want to continue to play, experiment, grow your factory, play with whatever you need, right? But I think we might be able to finish this up next video, if not in the next 2 videos. But I think we might be able to do it next video. Anyway, but yeah, once I finish off this tutorial series, I will link you guys to a couple of really cool YouTubers. Because once you're done with the tutorials, you're well on your way to understanding how Factorio works. And then the other YouTubers with much more experience than I have are really good resources for how to better organize your base, how to use blueprints effectively, how to continue to grow and expand, how to organize things, or how to embrace the spaghetti even more. There's one YouTuber who I really like named Yamakara, just as a quick shout out, where he just embraced spaghetti. He works through everything, just does whatever he needs to do, and he doesn't try to overly organize the base like I like to and like how other people like to. So he's a really cool breath of fresh air. I like him a lot. He also makes really good train tutorials. But yeah. And then I think I already shouted her out before, but there's also Catherine of Sky. So basically, once you guys are done with these tutorial videos, those 2 YouTubers, there's others as well that I can shout out in the next video. They're a really good resource in order to help you guys understand the full game, getting up to the actual rocket launch and even beyond into something that's called mega basing. So really cool. And because of how experienced they are, they'll be really good teachers for that now that you've got the basics of Factorio down. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really hope that you guys have been enjoying these videos. If you do enjoy them, let me know. If you feel like I missed teaching you guys anything, or if you guys have any questions or concerns, please definitely feel free to comment. I am happy to respond. I'm happy to make additional videos explaining how things work. Let me know. Anyway, take care, everybody, and have a wonderful day.